Before the paper, I knew they would say, and I knew by the looks on their faces. Niggas mad cause I did what they wouldn't do, say what I couldn't do. Look, bitch, I made it. I made it. Came a long way from the basement. Body on me, I ain't playing, y'all. These niggas ain't playing fair. If I would've known better, I'd do better. Took some mess and I learned from a new level. Bought some new shovels and some new stressors, and I'm ready for war like whoever. They counted me out, I can't count it all. Cause little nigga, I ball. I put them points on the board every time that I shoot, I'ma score, and you know I'm a dog. I'm really appalled, don't need no applause. I know I'm a legend, my name on the wall. First record with platinum, my second with gold. Did it independent, no deal at all. And they said it's impossible. Got them high cause I did them without them though. I'm the same nigga slept on the carpet floor. Even back then I knew that I'd be poppin', so I really ain't trippin'. I swear I ain't trippin'. I got in my feelings and got me a million. Couple people I thought would be with me, but they not, so it's fuck all them niggas. And then you next.
Hello, world. What's going on with everybody? I hope everybody doing good or whatever, having a great day. Of course, we had some, if you ask me, I think it was a decent card this past weekend, especially from the PBC side, right? I'm not talking about any of the other cards or things of that nature. I'm looking at, majority of what the public wanted to see. The public wanted to see the PBC card, although there was other cards out there. Of course, I went back and watched the Khalil Cole fight and things of that nature. But ultimately, I know that vast majority of people wanted to watch the card, of course, with Charlo and Lamanna. We also had Lamanna over here prior to then, prior to the fight, probably like maybe 5 days before the fight, 6 days before the fight. We also had Resendiz and Caleb Plant. One of the other fights that I didn't talk about that I wanted to talk about was definitely the Hernandez and the what's my guy? He Breadman fight, the Kyron Davis fight. I actually thought that fight, for my liking, I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. Now people would say, Kyron Davis, he was gonna get smoked, this, and the third. Now, if you ask me, Kyron Davis, although he did get beat, right? But at the end of the day, he showed something that a lot of fighters can't do, and that's resiliency and heart, right? He had resiliency and heart in that fight. Now, the skill level, even when I spoke to Breadman before the fight, not before the fight, but before it was announced, that's what I should be saying. Before it was announced, he told me straight up, he said, hey, listen, this kid is tough. He told me this kid is tough. I know my fighter, we're going to get ready as best as possible, but if people think that we coming to lay down, then, they gotta understand who Kyron Davis is, and on top of that, Kyron Davis damn near went the distance with David Benavidez. One thing I do know is this: a lot of these fights and fighters, especially coming from certain entities or promotion companies, they like to pull these fighters up from different weight classes. I.e., we just seen Caleb Plant and Resendiz. So Resendiz been fighting at 160. Cornflake, he's a natural 154 pounder. Now, people will say, well, he's had fight at 60, he has fight at 68. I get what you're coming from. All right. But what I mean, he's a natural 154, meaning when he fought Lara, he was at 154. Also meaning if there was another championship fight available for him at 154, trust me, Cornflake can make it. So that leads me into this. Kyron Davis fought at his natural weight. There was a lot of talk about Hernandez or the oohs and ahs. He can do this, he can do that, he could be next. I always look at fighters, especially when it gets hard in the ring for them, when they're used to knocking out these opponents. What does knocking out the opponent, what happens when you don't get that knockout? There was times in the ring where Hernandez was like, damn, he ain't going nowhere. And I'm hitting him with everything up under the sink. He's not going anywhere. Hernandez was trying to get creative. He was trying to make things happen. Kyron Davis was fighting back, right? He was fighting back. It was times where Kyron Davis hurt Hernandez, at least two different times in the fight. I think that Kyron Davis is already just worn down from being beaten on to even take advantage of Hernandez. But I do like Hernandez. I think that fight right there, he will grow from there. I believe that he won't, I would say, tire himself out. All right, I believe he won't tire himself out from trying to go get the knockout versus a guy that, you know, pretty game, pretty seasoned, been up there, fought some of the top guys, and he's put on spectacular performances as well, speaking of Kyron Davis. So I think there was a learning curve for Hernandez because he kind of hit that wall where, hey, this guy ain't going nowhere. I got to figure something out. I got to figure something else out. Shout out to my guy, Gregory Carmichael, man. What's going on, Gregory? Salute to you, brother. I appreciate that, man. You know you ain't have to, you know, but I appreciate it for sure. Boxing Guru in the building was good. 5 boxing fans tell we need this real boxing talk back. They watering it down. Yeah, man. See that, and that's the thing, though, man. That's one of the things that kept me away. You know, that's one of the things that keep me away a lot because I tweeted out today that boxing is an opera show. Man, I'm getting tired of, you know, he said, she said. I'm getting tired of that. And it's not more so, now some people will say, oh, they just need to keep things out the public. Well, you got some people, you know, who wants to know what's going on. But when you get people bickering, arguing, and you got one person acting like a clown over here and one person is trying to be a businessman, that kind of shakes up and it makes things look like a soap opera show. I know I ain't signed up for it. I just want to talk boxing, no matter who's fighting, right? Now, I'm not a big T.O. fan. I really don't care for him. But I can't deny what he's done in the ring. Or I can't deny that. I know he's a clown outside the ring and racing all that stuff. I understand that, you know, but inside the ring, I can't deny what he's done. But there are going to come some challenges with what he's doing, right? Adrian, what's good with you? What's going on? When I stated that cornflake. So again, like I say, I know I was talking about the fight with Hernandez and Kyron Davis. Great job by Hernandez. I think he can learn a lot from that fight. And I actually think that Kyron Davis can learn a lot from that fight as well. And he fought back. That's what I'm most proud of from him. Most people say, oh, he got the shit beat out of him, da-da-da-da. Not even realizing that this man he really did go to war with a killer. Now, he might have been outclassed because of the skill set and things of that nature. And that's fine. But Kyron Davis can definitely bounce back and still make himself some money. That's the part that people won't tell you. That's the part that people won't talk about, right? But it is eye-opening to see a new talent like Hernandez, who I wasn't familiar with. I did watch a couple of videos on him, so I knew a little something, but not much more than what I saw. And I also spoke about cornflake being a natural 54-pounder, which leads me into this. Most people would say, or I saw people saying, Jermall Charlo is back. I had to let that ponder for a minute. Because I don't think that he's back. Now, most people, you know, you just hating on Charlo. No, I'm not hating on Charlo. Now, here's the thing about it. I don't think that he's back because, again, I know what PBC is known for, especially when it comes to certain fighters. They will pull them guys up from a different weight class. And then again, like I said, some people will say, well, Cornflake fought on this way. Cornflake last 2 fights was at 68 because he knew that he was fighting Jermall Charlo. He knew that. You even heard me say in the interview I thought you had got the fight. Back in October, late September, October, when that started to circulate. And I personally contacted him. He never did hit me back because he wasn't sure if he got the fight. He hit me back in like December that he did get the fight, but it was pushed back. And then they were supposed to fight in January on the tank card, then it was pushed back even further. You know? So with that being said, 54-pounder, man, Charlo was supposed to do what he did. Now, what I will say this, Charlo did show me flashes why I was enamored of watching him and became a fan in the first place. He showed me the exact reason why I was enamored. Because there was a guy at 154 pounds when I first started watching him. I studied that man jab for months. I studied his jab for months. I knew he was a big puncher. But he also had some discreet boxing skills. He also had some very, very discreet boxing skills. Feet wasn't the best, but his athleticism made up for a lot of that. I remember watching the J-Rock fight, and he was with Coach Ronnie Shields at the time. And I know Shields, you know, when he gets you at a young age, he's going to groom you to have some old school tactics, but not really a lot, but just some that you can use inside the fight. And it's real tricky, real gamey. And that's one of the things that he hit J-Rock with when he backhand parried the right hand, boom, and shot the uppercut. I thought that was real, real sneaky. I actually seen Charlo use the forearm parry in this fight against Thomas Lamanna. So he still have some of that pedigree left in him from learning from Ronnie Shields over the years. So I was enamored, like, damn, this is why I became a fan of Charlo. This is why I studied. This is why I watched Charlo. You know what I'm saying? My guy, Brian Norman in the building, was good, Brody. Just Dude was good. I'll never understand why WBC let him hold that division up for so long. Now they're letting Manny fight for a title 6 years as an. Yeah. I don't know, but you know they're gonna do their guys, the superstars, favors. So I was enamored, like I said before, about Charlo. I still don't think he's back. Again, listen, he did what he was supposed to do against a 54-pounder. It's plain and simple. I don't think that. I think Thomas Lamanna, I think he had pushing around 44, 45 fights, had a hell of a career. I actually thought that he had a shot. I actually thought that he had a shot because we seen Charlo at the virtual press conference. It looked like he was either high or drunk or whatever the case it may be, whatever extracurricular activities that he do, right? He was working with a new coach. He fought one time in 4 years. So it's just, and then, of course, the stuff outside the ring. So it was just a lot that was playing. So I'm like, man, hold on, wait a minute. All this stuff going against him. But then again, you got to give credit to PBC matchmakers. They knew not to give him a big puncher. Because I'm going to tell you, although Caleb Plant lost this past weekend, now I'm not sure if he would have beat Charlo, but the way Caleb Plant looked versus Charlo looked, Caleb Plant would have beat Charlo. And they knew not to throw him right back in the fire. So credit to the matchmakers from PBC. They knew exactly what they was doing. Let's pull a guy up. Somebody can get by. Let's build up this fight. And it kind of backfired. Now, Resendiz spoiled those plans or whatever. But again, like I said before, I'm not coming down hard on Charlo. I just don't agree with everybody saying that he's back. I don't agree with that. We got to see more. It was a perfectly matched fight in which I thought that, Cornflake had, I thought that Cornflake had a shot. I thought he had at least a 40% chance of shot or 60% because of everything that Charlo had going on, right? Am I wrong? Yes, I'm wrong, but am I wrong for thinking that? No, I'm not at all. I'm not at all. But Charlo did show flashes of why I was enamored of becoming a fan of his in the first place. I mean, strong jab. I did see where he got a chance to double up the right hand to throw the right hand. But one thing that I didn't like was him coming out in the first round. He came right out there with his chin up in the air. I said, oh my God. And the first thing Thomas Lamanna did was throw the overhand right. It hit him. But then again, of course, you look at the total knockouts that Lamanna have against the opponents that he have. He has decent pop. He has decent, but it's not the pop that will put a guy like Charlo down. It's just not, right? Now, even Lamanna said on himself when I interviewed him, he said, listen, at the end of the day, we got to get in the ring and fight. But Charlo, on the other hand, even on his worst day, he's still a bad motherfucker. That was the words from Cornflake, right? But he said, but Cornflake was more active, so we have to give Charlo all the man. I don't have to give him shit. You probably can. I don't. Again, like I said before, he's fighting a 154 pounder. The motherfucker walk around at 200. What the fuck I look like giving him credit for doing that? No, I give him credit for making it back in the ring, but is he back? I don't believe so, because if that was another, listen, if you had to put Berlanga in the ring with him that night, if you had to put fucking David Morrell in the ring that night, if you put those guys in there and he walks in the first round, he walks in the ring with his chin up like he did and get touched by one of those guys, he's going down. His body don't look like he looked at 154. His body don't look like how he looked at 160. Hell, I actually thought he had a better fight. Against David Benavidez at 160. I mean, at 160 or 66 at this last fight. So don't tell me I got to give him credit for what. You can, but I won't. And like I said, that's your opinion. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with your opinion, but I don't have to give him credit. Tay said I don't have to give him credit. No, I don't have to give him credit for shit. Because again, I know what I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said before, listen, whatever happened to him outside the ring that kept him from being in the ring, that's his personal business. But for us, what I was enamored, like I said, I was enamored why I was a fan. Why I was a fan. Not you, why I was a fan. The man stayed on his shit. He stayed on his shit. He stayed on this shit. He looks flabby, right? He looks flabby. Of course, yes, it's his first fight back. But whose fault is that? That's his fault. But again, I gave him credit because he showed flashes of why I was a fan in the first place. Do I believe? Well, I'll say this. He's now 35. So he's only fought one time in 4 years. So if he's 35, that means the last time that I really seen him put on a full display was probably when he was 30, 31 years old. So he's now 35. I saw flashes of why I was enamored with him to begin with in this past fight. Do I think that he can get back to that certain extent? Yes, but he got to cut out whatever's going outside the ring. Yes, he got to cut out the drinking. Yes, he got to cut out whatever else that he's doing. He got to cut it out because I seen those flashes. I just don't think that he's back just yet. Let's give him another 2 fights. Some people say 1 fight. Well, he looked good, but he looked good against what he was up against, you know. And Cornflake tried. He tried. Got back up. He could have stayed down 2 different times. Right? Charlo is, again, on his worst day, he still looks good. You know what I mean? On his worst day, he still looks good. Was it his best? No. Do I think that he's back? No. I want to see more. If I walk around at 200 pounds and I know, Man, listen, I thank you, LD. It was definitely he was used as a tune-up. He was used as a tune-up. I actually think Cornflake could beat Jose Benavidez. That's the fucking crazy part about it. You know, but one thing I don't do, I don't go back and forth. So when your opinion is your opinion, my opinion, my opinion, I ain't got to give them credit for shit. But anyway, oh no, for sure. No, Carl Brown, you good. Like I said, that's your opinion, my opinion is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I'm not disrespecting your opinion. I'm just telling you, I ain't got to give them credit for, for shit. You know what I mean? It's just that I know how these companies work. It was perfect matchmaking, like in Cornflake said himself, look, man, listen, this is my last opportunity. I got, this many amount of fights. And he couldn't pass up the opportunity, let alone couldn't pass up the money. So I totally understand. How do you think the doctor stoppage was too quick? I mean, I do, but I don't. I do because the man was fighting back. He kept getting up. I don't. I do because it was visible of the weight difference. It was very visible. The power as well. I mean, it looked like anything that he touched Cornflake would hurt. But again, he showed me why. He showed those flashes. If you go back and look at past and prior fights of Charlo, everybody who's been hit by that jab or right hand, they all have this reaction look like, shit, what was that? They always have that reaction. So that's one reason why I say that. You know what I mean? That's one reason why I say that. But look, hey, he's back. He's back fighting. What's next? I don't know. But I will say this. Now that you got your foot on the gas, don't take your foot off the gas. Keep going. I'm rooting for anybody, especially him going through what he's going through. I know what he said leading up to the fight and all that shit. You know what I mean? I understand, but again, I'm just talking boxing. I don't want to get into that right now, but I will definitely come back and talk about that. So let me ask you this, Carl Brown, though. You said I wouldn't want him to be off the ring that long and come back into a big fight, especially after hearing his story about what he overcame. Now watch this. But his next fight would have been Caleb Plant. Despite what Caleb Plant, because we get ready to get into that too, because I got a few minutes because I'm supposed to be doing the show with my guy Stormy. Despite how Caleb Plant looked against Resendiz, Caleb Plant would have, gave him some trouble that fight. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, despite what he looked like that night, he would have gave him some trouble, man. Gritty said encouraging, not great performance. Big Charlo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I can agree with that. Because, of course, like I said before, I don't want to see nobody lose. I want to see everybody winning. You know what I mean? Whether you lose the fight or win the fight, you get in the bag. That's what matters to me. He said it still can be playing. Yeah, for sure. But then here's the catch 22 to it. That's literally the first time that I've seen a not so good performance by Plant, right? If people criticize me about his performance against Canelo. People criticize me because I thought that Caleb Plant was up on those cards. I actually think he was taking Canelo to school. Now, people going to give me all the slack in the world about it, but I don't know what fight they was watching, but I know what I was watching. And Caleb Plant was schooling Canelo. You know, um, I'll speak about that tomorrow. But I did talk to Breadman after I talked to him yesterday. With text with him. He told me it was a rough camp. So it's, I don't have privy to the information just yet, but I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure that I'll get that, But he did say it was a tough camp. But looking back at the Caleb Plant fight, if you ask me, the same way that he fought Canelo in those first 8-9 rounds is how he should have fought Resendiz. I didn't think stepping to Resendiz after maybe the fourth, fifth round, that's when I would say, you know what, me trying to clinch and get inside work in is not working, because you can clearly see that it wasn't. Even though that method in particular helped him do the Macombi fight, these are two different fighters. These are two different fighters. So yeah, it helped him in the Macombi fight, and he reverted to. It seems like, I'm not sure, but it seems like to me from what I was watching that he reverted back to clinching, trying to get inside, get some body work in. Cool, but at the same time, brother, Caleb, you have great boxing ability. So for you to be inside with this man who Resendiz was going for broke. Resendiz was going for broke. Now Gritty said Resendiz got one style and Caleb played right into it. And that's exactly how I feel. Because it was no need for him to clinch and work inside. That's what Resendiz do. Do the opposite of what he do. He can't catch. First of all, Caleb was too fast. He actually was the bigger guy. And of course, he has sweet hands, like his nickname. He can put them together. But I didn't see Caleb put them together. And it looked, because I didn't see him really throwing his right hand much. I think he may have hurt his right hand too. Not an excuse, but it's just an observation of what I saw. Andre in the building was good. Universal Truth was good with you. He was definitely up there not following the scoring criteria if they think otherwise. Absolutely. Do you think Caleb Plant should jump right back into an immediate rematch with him? I did a video on that. Breadman spoke about that. Breadman specifically said, we're gonna get the universal truth. I ain't got there yet. And that's another reason. That's another reason, right? That's another reason. I'm glad you said that, Guru, because I gotta tell you something now. Breadman said that he would have to bring in the sparring partners that he wants to bring in camp, and we have to get Caleb past a certain threshold. He also mentioned that Caleb is the world's best. No, I got you, Stormy. I got you, Stormy, at 9. You said at 9 my time, right? 9 my time, right? I got you. I got you, Stormy. I'm about to wrap it up in 5. I was just telling them because I was coming on your show, Stormy. We put I'm sorry, what I was thinking. So that's what Breadman was saying. He was also stating that Caleb is one of the world's best 5-6 round fighters in the world, in which I actually agree, because we see him fade. We've seen in 2 different fights that I can name off top that he's faded. So I think that Caleb will be more into fighting him, leading up under the direction of Breadman. Looking at what Boxing Guru put, he said we put pressure on CP, force him to fight. Now, here's the thing I have with that. PBC as a whole was looking at what Turkey did with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, they saw what happened. And now you saying that, Boxing Guru, now I feel the same way about PBC. If y'all wanted that fight to happen next, that fight to happen next, y'all should both have given them tune-ups. But by you saying that only leads me to believe that y'all want Charlo to have the belt. But I know how promotion companies work. You know? So I know how promotion companies work. And if y'all think Charlo is the answer right now, y'all got another thing coming. Respectfully. You got another thing coming. You got another thing coming because you got guys like David Morrell. And had Charlo said, no, Manny, remember me and ask me personally. Okay. Now that make more sense because I'm thinking, because I know Boxing Guru. I know you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to speak too much, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I know who we involved with and stuff like that, I don't want to say too much, but I'm glad you cleared that up. I think PBC laying out the plan they had last year, but instead they doing it this year. Nah. I mean, you got to understand, the person who runs PBC now is Louis DeCubas. So I can't tell you yay or nay on that. I know personally that Louis DeCubas is running PBC. So I just gave y'all the bone. Hope it don't go over y'all head. That's I ain't gonna say no more. I ain't gonna say much more. Now, Universal Truth, before I get out of here, he said Resendiz landed body shots all night, took Caleb Plant's legs away. Yeah, but you totally right about that, Universal Truth. And that's why I was saying, because Caleb looked flawless those first 2 rounds, right? But Caleb he's the type of fighter that can punch on the move and go. And he was trying to engage in a fight that he shouldn't have been in. That's basically what I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's basically what I'm saying. But listen, man, hey, I'm getting ready to head over to Stormy B, man. I have told him I wanted to talk boxing with him tonight. So I'm getting ready to head over there, man. I'll be back talking later on this week, but I just wanted to come back because I didn't get a chance. I didn't want to go to Wednesday and talk about fights that this past weekend because, of course, this weekend we got Keyshawn Davis and, of course, my guy Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? So with that being said, man, I went ahead and just did that portion of it, but we finna go talk about current events in boxing over on Stormy B. His name in the chat, Boxing Guru. His name in the chat, Stormy B Man. That's exactly what it is. I'll put it up here real quick. Stormy B Man, that's his channel. So I'm getting ready to go over there right now as we speak. But I appreciate everybody coming through, man. I'm about to head over to Stormy B, man. We finna get ready to talk about these current events in boxing. So with that being said, I'm out. Love, peace, happiness, and hello, world.
Before the paper, I knew they would say, and I knew by the looks on their faces. Niggas mad cause I did what they wouldn't do, say what I couldn't do. Look, bitch, I made it. I made it. Came a long way from the basement. Fighting on me, I ain't playing, y'all. These niggas ain't playing fair. If I would've known better, I'd do better. Took some mess and I learned from a new level. Bought some new shovels and some new stressors. And I'm ready for war like whoever. They counted me out, I can't count it all. Cause little nigga, I ball. I put them points on the board every time that I shoot, I'ma score, and you know I'm a dog. I'm really appalled, don't need no applause. I know I'm a legend, my name on the wall. First ranking with platinum, my second with gold. Did it independent, no deal at all. And they said it's impossible. Got them high cause I did them without them though. I'm the same nigga slept on the carpet floor. Even back then I knew that I'd be poppin', so I really ain't trippin'. I swear I ain't trippin'. I got in my feelings and got me a million. Couple people I thought would be with me, but they not, so it's fuck all them niggas. And then you next.